Welcome back to another video. A little bit of a different one today. After my 2 long distance hikes, the Dales Way and the Cumbria Way, I had quite a few messages off Facebook, Instagram and a couple on YouTube as well, asking about the gear. So what did I take, you know, how do I pack my bag, things like that. So I thought I'd go through it today. So I've basically packed my bag as much as I can remember, or generally what I would take on a long distance hike, you know, a 3 to 4 day hike, something like that. And I thought I'll just lay it out, go through it, what I take, why I take it. What is important to say is don't focus on the brand, on the design, the gear like that, because everyone has different budgets and different, you know, everyone's different basically, but it's a general principles of what I'm taking and why I'm taking it. So I've just come out to the local field. I'm going to find somewhere to put my bag down, set my camera up, and then let's talk through it. Brilliant, found a little spot here to set up so I can now talk you through my gear. First of all, I've just laid out a ground sheet for now. This is for my Lanchan 2 Pro. Typically I wouldn't take a ground sheet, but sometimes I take the lightest polycro sheet just to lay out. I could use it as a ground sheet, things like that. But for now, I'm just using this so I don't put everything on the ground. Okay, so what do I take on a multi-day hike? Firstly, I'm a YouTuber, so let's talk about my camera gear. I take the GoPro Hero 10. Great camera, really good stabilisation, sounds brilliant as long as you put a little wind muff on it. And I've got a little Smallrig bendy tripod so I can hook it onto things, set it up as a tripod. You know, we've got everything there. That's typically what I use on a normal multi-day hike. If it was on a shorter hike, maybe just over a day overnight, I'd have my 360 camera, my microphone that I'm using today, all sorts of things, but generally I'll just use that. When I'm carrying my bag on my chest strap, it basically just tucks in, and that's how I hold it on there. I'll talk about the bag in a second. What else do I take? I take my iPhone. Fantastic. You know, if you're looking to set up a channel and do your videos, iPhones are brilliant. Far better quality than the GoPro. But I like to use that if I want to zoom in on something or get another angle. So it's an iPhone 14 Pro, but you know, any phone this day and age will do the trick. What bag do I take? Right. So I'll talk about gear, like I mentioned before, but don't focus on the brand of gear. You know, you get what's right for you, but I'll talk you through mine because people have asked. I use the Atom Packs Mo 50. Would I recommend it for everyone? Probably not. It's very expensive. But because I hike a lot and I'm doing multi-day hikes, I like something lightweight, I like the features. So for me, it was worth it. Again, may not be good for everyone, but for me, you know, it's probably the perfect bag. It's got really nice padded straps. We've got a chest strap. I wish there was 2, slightly better to hold my GoPro, but you know, we've got the chest straps. We've got 2 big pockets on the front. So I typically put my mobile phone in one, but you could put some big water bottles in. And in the other one, I carry my water filter. I've always got this with me. It's the Katadyn B3. Fantastic, really good flow rate. And I have the 600ml version. You can get a 1 litre, really no need. I can save weight basically not carrying water. And then whenever I see a water source, wide mouth on there, scoop it up, drink what I can. And then typically, I will take 1 or 2 smart water bottles with me. And then what I'll do, I'll scoop up the water, filter it into here, and I'm good to go. I usually take 2 of these. This is a 850ml, could take a litre, 600ml, whatever you like. And the reason I take 2, I have 1 for clear water, and I have 1 for water with electrolytes in. Personally, I don't like to hike without electrolytes. I think they're brilliant, just to replace the salts and things that you lose when you're hiking. So typically 2, I've only got 1 with me today. Water filter. The other thing that I'll be taking on all my future hikes, now I didn't take it on the Cumbria Way or the Dales Way because I didn't have it then, is my satellite communicator. I'm kindly partnered with Zoleo at the moment and testing this out for the next few months. So I'll do another video on this nearer the time. I'm still, you know, been testing the ground at the moment, but I used this on my Mountain Leaders course last week and it was fantastic. There's obviously loads of different brands out there. You've got the Garmin InReach, which is more expensive. Personally, I think this is better for a few reasons, which I'll go through in another video. But when I was up in the mountains last week for 6 days on my Mountain Leader course, I literally had no reception. And I could use this, as long as it can see the sky, it can send messages over satellite, mobile, Wi-Fi, whatever it picks up, and I could keep in touch with loved ones. Brilliant. I'll take you round the bag. On each side, you've got some really deep pockets. These are brilliant. You can fit 2 massive water bottles in there, or your tent if you like, or shoes, you know, whatever you want to take with you. So typically on one side, I'll have my pegs. I've got a little DCF bag. I use the 9-inch MSR carbon core. I love these. They're lightweight, long, They hold really well. I've never had a problem. Obviously, they are quite long, but if you have got deep ground or stones, you can put them in at an angle. They're brilliant. They're never going to bend. Yeah, fantastic. I'm using the rest just to peg out this tent at the moment. I typically take 8, which is more than I need. I only need 6. The other thing I take, essential for me, is my trekking poles. You probably hear I waffle about these all the time. Again, you can get trekking poles as cheap as 30 quid up to whatever you want to pay. So don't worry too much about the brand. However, I have some Black Diamond carbon core. Carbon, so they are lightweight, but they're still a good weight to these because I've gone for ones with cork handles. Personally, I prefer them. They've got a really nice grip on here, and being a cork handle, your hands don't sweat and you get a good grip. So I love these. Quite expensive, but yeah, I'm not, you know, they do everything for me. And they also support my tent, so yeah, that's why I have those. Anything else around the side of the bag? Nothing in the other pocket. Underneath on this bag, it has a little stuff pocket. So all my snacks, bang them under there. And when I've got the bag on, I can just reach under, grab a snack out, and I'm good to go. When I've got the wrapper on the other side, there's a little hole on this side, and then you can just stuff your wrappers in there. You know, once you find a bin, you can just empty the wrappers out and you're good to go. Keep tidy. It's got a hip belt. You can put a pocket on both sides. I actually only bought it with one. Maybe I'll get another one day. What do I keep on here? Typically, I take 2 things in here. So I've got a little bag here, and in this bag, and it's actually on at the moment, I take my head torch. So I've got a Nightcore NU25. It's just a really lightweight head torch. I've modified it to put a lighter strap on it. I'll take that in there, and I do take a backup, and that's just a little Rovivon A5, I think it's called. Super bright torch. It's got loads of features on it. But yeah, I usually take both. How often do I use them? Never. But they're there, and they're lightweight, so they're always in my bag. The other thing I take, just got a little DCF bag, is a first aid kit. Again, I would always take a first aid kit. It's up to you what you want to put in your own. Don't need to go through mine. Only take something if you know how to use it. Typically, Compeed, some plasters, some lip balm, maybe some hand warmers, a little lighter, a tick remover. And what I also take as well, actually, I take a spare top for my Katadyn B3, because every now and then I've snapped the cap off. So I take a spare cap, because if you've ever tried carrying one of those water bottles with no cap, it goes everywhere. Take what you want. What I've got in there at the moment, I've got a spoon, a little spoon just in case I need that. Usually take that. And what I've put in there for today, but this is optional, I'll come back to that, I've got a lighter. So I've got a Soto lighter which will light in any conditions. Put that there. On the front of the bag, I've got a really good stretch pocket. You put loads and loads of things in here, it's great. But firstly, on the front, I have a little clip. The reason I have this is when you're setting your tent up, if it's windy, typically I'll get it out of my bag, I'll get one of the guy lines, hook it on there, and then it's not going to blow away. When you've used your peg bag and you've got your pegs out, hook your peg bag on there. Just anything like that so it's not going to blow away. That's what I use that for. In here, I'll always take my electrolytes, 0 sugar, always use those. I have a little spongy, very cheap, about £4, and I use this to dry the condensation off my tent. Something we're typically all going to suffer with. So when you're in your tent at night, if I notice you're getting a bit damp, give it a wipe down. Oh, super absorbent, it's really, really good. And in the morning, it's easy to dry your tent off as well. Always take that. Poop kit, shouldn't need to explain, but biodegradable wipes, a little bit of tissue, and a little trowel as well. Next, a waterproof coat. So always have your waterproof handy, just in case you need it. I vary what I take depending on the walk. If I know it's going to be nice, I'll still take one. This is the OMM Kamleika, super lightweight. You know, you've probably seen this in my videos. Again, you take whatever you like. Sometimes I'll have my Montane jacket, you know, because it's a little bit more protected, a little bit thicker, but yeah, whatever you want. The other thing I'll take, I didn't need it, but I did take it on my last hikes, is a pair of waterproof pants. Because typically I like to walk in shorts. Sometimes I'll take leggings as well, but I like to walk in shorts. But if it's pissing it down, water runs down your legs and into your shoes, so it's good to have a pair of waterproof pants. Mine are some Montane ones. The only thing I would probably say to look for is full length zips, and that way you can zip them off and put them on without taking your shoes off. And that's what mine are. on my coast to coast, I actually wore these as shorts. So I just had boxers on, I put my waterproof pants on, zipped them up to the top, rolled the legs up, tied them around my waist. Looked like a nappy, but I had them as shorts, and that's what I used, because every now and then it'd rain. So when it'd rain, I just had to untie them and drop them. Just nice and easy. Nothing else in there. So on the top of this bag, it has a Y strap. So on there, you can get anything you want on there. You can put your tent on there, a jacket, what you're taking off, whatever you want. I tend to put a sit pad on. Again, this is a Thermarest Z Light, but you can get it for as cheap as £1 off AliExpress. Some kind of sit mat, whatever you like, but you know, it's not always nice to sit on a rock or get a cold ass. So it's good. And maybe if you're in your tent, you can use it as a little table. Or what I did actually on my mountain leader course, I noticed when I'd set my tent up, there was a little bit of a rock under the tent. So I just put this underneath the tent to cover the rock to make sure I didn't pop my sleep mat. Straps on the side of this, it rolls up and buttons, and it's like one big compartment. So what have I got in here? Now, all transparency, I did not take these two things on either of my last 2 hikes, but I would take them if I didn't have access to shops. So basically on the last one, I knew I'd see loads of shops on the way. So I decided to save weight, not take any cooking kit, and I just buy sandwiches en route. You know, buy a bit of chicken, buy some bread, shove it on top, make myself a sandwich later on. Not really that bothered about a brew. I've got electrolytes, I've got water, yeah. If I was gonna take a stove though, this is probably what I'd take if it was just myself. Just a 600ml titanium pot. I've got a collapsible cup on the top, because again, usually I might be boiling water and I'd like to have my cup separate. I've got a 100ml gas canister. I've got a lighter in there as well. And I've got my Soto Amicus, brilliant stove. I've used loads. Again, use whatever you want. Use a BRS stove if you want, super cheap. But yeah, that's what I use. If I was taking food, which I didn't on this one, I've just bought this from a mountain leaders course. And I did take this, and it's just a little lunch pouch. Keeps things cool. Coffees, maybe some fuel porridge, but add a bit of water in the morning. That's typically it. If I saw a shop, I'd take a dehydrated meal or whatever, but yeah, that's it. I like to keep it lightweight. I always have a dry liner. So I've got a big 60-litre dry liner in this, so I can stuff everything into it, just so I know if it throws it down, my things aren't going to get wet. In the top of my bag, in its own little dry sack, I've got my Durston XMid tent. Love it. 1-person trekking pole tent. As you can see, super lightweight. It already has a ground sheet attached. Brilliant. Again, don't focus on the gear too much. You know, you've got Lanchan 2 tents, you've got whatever you want. Whatever tent you want to carry is up to you. The reason I take this is it's lightweight, it's great in the wind, it's got a really good vestibule space, and I can set it up with my trekking poles, so I don't need to carry poles. That's the tent. We've got another dry bag on here. What have I got in here? Put the bag to one side. I have no idea. Okay. Aha, I know what this is. I've got it in another dry bag, but power. So obviously, because I'm filming, you know, I need to be able to charge my gear. So usually on my hikes, I'll take 2 power banks. I've got 2 10,000s, you know. Again, you might not need a power bank, but I always like to take them. I've got the Nightcore NU 10,000s or whatever they're called. Very lightweight, a little bit overpriced, but hey, that's what I like to use. I've got a selection of leads, so I've got a couple of USB-C cables, so I can charge these on the go, and I can charge my GoPro. I've got a lead for my Garmin watch, which I'll go through in a minute. I've got a really good plug. It's pretty heavy, but it's a 65-watt charger, and it's got 3 USB-C sockets and a USB-A, so I can plug everything in at once. So when I get to somewhere, I'll bang that on, I'll get my phone on charge my power banks, whatever I need. And oh, spare battery for my GoPro. And the other thing I like to take, love it. Yes, I'm somebody who takes a pump from my air mat, and it's the new Flextail gear, Flextail pump. It's fantastic. If you're going to get one, pay the little bit extra and get the version 2. I've got the version 1, it's crap. Always falls off your tent. This is brilliant. And it also, I like things for multi-use. It's got a light as well. I'll hang that up in my tent, and that is my light for at night. So that's why I never use my head torch. So I'll hang that up. I'll pump my air mat up, hang that up. Good. to go. Put those there for now. The only other thing I've got in here is just my hygiene kit. So I'll take a little bit of shampoo, a toothbrush. This one's cut in half, but I'll either take this or I'll take a full size one. I'm not bothered about the weight, it just fit in this bag a little bit easier. Little toothpaste, a deodorant, and personally I take a little nose spray because sometimes I struggle at night with the, struggle breathing in my tent, to be honest, so I like to take that. The blue thing is another one of these sponges. Great for drying your body. Again, I've used all sorts of things, but these are fantastic. So if I ever manage to get a shower or a dip, whatever it is, I'll use one of those, dries you instantly. A different colour to my tent one, because I'm not cleaning myself with one that I've wiped down my tent with. There we go. The reason I put them in a dry bag is just so I've got a spare dry bag. Maybe my tent's soaking wet or I want to separate my inner from my outer. My clothes get wet or something, I've got a spare dry bag, but that's why I take it, and that's why I throw everything into one. Next, what have we got? Now this will vary, but this is my clothing. Some people will take more or less than me, but this is, again, typically what I'll take. So, pair of swim shorts. Not essential, but I like to take them in case I can get a wild dip. Always handy, they dry quickly as well. Spare pair of socks. I don't wear any socks at night because I have a good tent. I have a good sleeping bag, but it's nice to change your socks every day or two or every couple of days, or just vary them. Or if they did get wet, I've got a spare pair. These are a couple of knee straps. You'll see in most of my videos. I've usually got one on straight away, and I take a spare in case I need one for my other leg. I struggle with my knees sometimes, with swelling knees. Usually I end up with two on, so I always take them. I've got a little bag here just with a buff. Didn't use it on my last trip, but I took it. We've got a little Salomon hat. I like to take that for me in my tent if I'm cold, or if it's cold in the morning. I do usually use those. And I've got some Montane gloves there, just some thin gloves in case it's a little bit cold at night. No weight to them, so I like to take them. I should say what I'm wearing now. I've got an Under Armour top, but just a breathable top. A pair of shorts. These are some Karrimoor, just some cheap ones. I use my Adidas Terrex. Love these things. Not for everyone. For me, fantastic. I've used them in every single hike for the last 2 years. Brilliant. People usually ask me what my gaiters are. I don't wear gaiters, they're just socks. I just like to fold them over so I don't get things in my shoes. The other thing I'm wearing as well is my Garmin watch. Garmin 6X Pro, essential. I plot every single route on OS Maps. I download it to my phone so I've got a copy. I download it to my watch and I follow that route. It tells me if I'm on course, off course. At the end of every night, I save that route, that uploads to Strava, and the next day I just start following the route again. For hikes like when I was on my mountain leader last week, I just record my route because I haven't got anything planned, but essential, you know, I use it again on every single hike that I do. People always say it looks like I've got a million changes of clothes, but again, I just vary things a little bit. So I'll have a pair of shorts, pair of leggings. You know, if it's cold, I can bang them on underneath my shorts. I still wear shorts, but yeah, I don't like to take pants. Again, personal preference, but I typically don't like to take pants. I've got a little hoodie, again, a lightweight hoodie. Call it your mid layer. This is a Montane Jam hoodie, not expensive. But I love this thing, wear it on most of my hikes. You can hook it over your thumbs, so it really comes down. You've got a really tight hood on it. And I did wear this quite a lot as well. So when it gets a little bit cold, I'll just bang this on. The other thing that you'll see in most of my videos, love this again. I've got them in different colours. And this is a Rab Borealis Jacket. They do one without a hood, but I prefer the one with the hood. Super lightweight, it's Pertex, so it sheds water. It's thin and it's windproof. Even if you're cold in the morning, I've just got one t-shirt on, I can put this on and still be warm. Or if it's cold, this is airy and I can roll the sleeves up. You can open the front pockets to let a bit of air in. This is brilliant. So I usually vary them all. I've never really got all three on, but if it was really, really cold, I would put all three on. That's it. My waterproof jacket only comes out if it's persisting it down. If it's not, I can get away with just that. Spare pair of boxers. If I'm on a 4-day hike, I might take 2 pairs just in case. And the only other thing I take is a down jacket. Is it essential? Yeah, I think so. Because it does get cold at night sometimes. So when you sat around camp, depending where you are, you know, you want to get up early in the morning, you're putting your tent away, just put your jacket on, keep warm for a bit, or if you stop for a brew, whatever. But yeah, I don't wear it much, but I like to have it. So I take that, all in a dry bag. We're getting there now, getting to the bottom. Sleep mat. Take whatever you like. It's getting to summer now, so you can, you know, you don't really need an insulated mat. However, I've got a Thermarest X Therm. I've had it for ages. I love it. It's dead warm. Is it a bit bulky? Maybe, but that's what I use. I could save weight. I'm not bothered. It works. We've got a pillow. I've got the Aluft Pillow Deluxe by Trekology. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, that's what I use. My sleeping bag. It says an OEX, but this is not the sleeping bag that's in there. This is my Iceflame quilt, 3FUL gear. I was lucky enough that they sent it me last year. It's good to about -10. Now it's coming up to summer, I would take a lightweight quilt and save the weight because it's a little bit bulky, but it's super warm. And when we're on the Dales Way, if you watch that video, I'll link it above, Ian took his quilt. I nearly took mine, and in the end I thought, oh, I'll treat myself and take this. Ian was freezing for the 3 or 4 days. I had an awful night's sleep. We had ice on the inside of our tents. I was lovely and warm, slept in my boxers in that. Last but not least, my little secret weapon. This is a Nalgene bottle. So it's a wide mouth Nalgene bottle. I can't remember the size of it. I'll try and link it below. It's got a really wide top on it. What do I use this for? I use this for having a wee in my tent. And you might laugh and think it's not essential, but if it's raining outside or you can't be arsed, getting up in your tent at night, literally in your tent, zip it off, away you go. You can have 2 decent sized wees in that and you're good to go. And that generally is everything. So I'll put all the weights of the things, I'll try and link it below. I'll try and do a lighter pack thing so you can see what I took, and I'll put some weights. But I did weigh my bag before I came out, and my bag was 8 kilo. So I'll typically walk between 8 and 9 kilo. It's not a dry weight because that includes gas. It just, again, food, I've included my coffee and things like that. And I don't always take those. And it just doesn't include water, but typically I won't walk with water. So I'll just fill up on the go. That does include my trekking poles as well. But again, when I'm walking, I'm normally using them. So you could, the weight on my back usually is about 7 kilo, something like that, which is nice and lightweight. But that's it. It's been a long video. If you've got any questions, please drop them below. But I just must state again, let me just, gear is expensive. You don't need to go out now and think, oh, go and buy what he's got, or look at that tent he's got, look at that sleep mat. You get whatever works for you, but you understand the principle of having waterproofs, having a mid layer, having some, a breathable layer or a windproof, having something where you can go to the toilet, something to clean yourself, some water, battery, power, sleep mat. You get the principle, you get the idea. But that's all I would take. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It just means you get notified of any new videos. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. We're up to 810 subscribers today, which is fantastic. Let's try and get to that 1,000. If we do make the 1,000, I'll probably do a giveaway as well. I might try and put some kind of kit together or find something to give away to celebrate that. But that's it for now. Tune in next Wednesday at 6 PM for the next video. Peace.